Hello everybody and welcome back again here into my single player world. Today we're standing in my big city for episode number 151, or as I like to think of it right now, I'm thinking probably better off 150 plus 1, because this is actually the very last episode of this series, which is absolutely crazy. It's kind of sad, but it's actually very, very exciting, so be prepared to be excited. So this is going to be a final tour episode of this world. We're going to try and see everything that I can possibly think of in this world. It's probably going to be slightly longer. It's most certainly going to be slightly longer than your average world tour. But we're going to go through a bunch of things and have a look at everything that's gone on in this world. Perhaps talk about what's going on in the next series, have a look at what we're going to be carrying on with this world with, and just a bunch of things which I wish I had done by now, which I have done, how they changed, and just kind of chilling out in this world. So I hope you guys are ready. May as well have a good time just exploring this. I think my shaders haven't all loaded in. I've just reset. Actually, no, it feels like those chunks are probably loaded. So let's get started in a place that is kind of not where we started, and kind of, I mean, it's nowhere near where we started. We're a few thousand blocks out from our spawn, but that's our palace, which is, I think, the big thing that I've been building a lot of the series around, which we never got to complete just for the sheer size of this world. So let's go check out what's going on. You can see there's a few little lost bits and pieces here, but overall you can tell we've got a very oh hello zombie. We've got a very grand idea with this place. There we go, we got rid of that one. That we just didn't manage to complete just yet, but it's a big work in progress. This whole world is a massive work in progress, and for people who are a bit sad, actually, let's just go and do this a little bit there. That should be enough, right around there. For people who are a bit sad that this world's going to be going, by the way, fear not. This world is not done. It's just done on YouTube, besides updates. We're going to be doing some crazy updates, because, of course, the size of this world is just enormous. The amount of work that goes on in this world is enormous, and I think we can definitely show a lot of cool stuff, because guess what? Twitch.tv, with my name in it, is the place to go if you want to still keep up with this world. In fact, even if you don't manage to catch the live streams, you can still catch the replays of the live streams if you guys do want to go check that out. So the link is just in the description below this video if you guys would like to go check that out. Of course, we have a great time, and in fact, we've actually just passed a major sub number, which is pretty cool. Not sub, follower number, I guess, sorry, on Twitch. A massive follower number for us, at least, in a while, which is really cool. So if you guys want to go check it out, of course, it's always there. And I'd love to see you guys around there. But right now, we're just walking onto some of the pieces that we have not finished. The bridge that we built just 2 episodes ago, and this area here. A forgotten area. Not really. Just one that we haven't got to yet. So we'll just keep walking around the city, chilling out. One of my favorite areas. In fact, this has been my big challenge, which I finally figured out a good way of doing it, at least in this respect. Was I struggle so much to get color in this world. And by the way, let's take a look at that bell tower. I struggle so much to get color in my builds, and I just struggle to make things vibrant and colorful. I mean, you got grays and browns, and they work fantastically because you can't really go wrong with them. But I think sometimes when you can work in how to get a few greens, which is easy enough, but the other colors, for instance, that allium there, all these little ones around here, all these banners, the little drapey things in the middle there, little bits and pieces that have added color to this, and I think this area right here really says it all. It definitely is where I hit that color completely correct. And as I say, by the way, guys, we're going to just walk slowly through some places, go to some places which we might have even forgotten. There's so many times in this world where I go through a place and I'm like, wait, did I build that? I can't even remember building that. There's just so many places, like this little silly bookshop and stuff like that. I mean, we have a little storage room. I didn't even think about that. Just so much stuff has gone on in this world. It's crazy. Now, just a cool little statistic for this world. 1 year, and I think it is now currently 28 days, if not I'm 1 day off. 1 year and 28 days ago, we started this world, and that was also 150 episodes ago. That is pretty nuts. That is pretty crazy how much we've done in this world. By the way, this is our antique store. You can see like the city banner that's dirtied, little map, all that sort of stuff. Just little things. These were some failed projects, to be completely honest. They weren't very cool, but they had potential. By the way, this is our news offices. This is where the city's papers will be made. The journalists will be here. Just a bunch of offices were in here, and we haven't quite finished this, but we have been working on it quite recently. It's a very pretty building from the outside, but from inside, I think we're working on it. I think we're getting there slowly but surely. But that's one cool thing, of course, going for 1 year and 1 month realistically in a world is pretty crazy for Minecraft. I find a lot of people very quickly can drop out of a world, and for me, building in this world, which of course we get the question very often, is how do you stay motivated? Seriously, it's been you guys. Like, you guys that have been around, keeping me motivated in this world. Not to mention, I thoroughly do enjoy this. It's just been the fact that a lot of people have been thoroughly loving this. Thoroughly loving seeing the different types of builds, how we can pull in builds in terms of the city, where we can show off our structures, in terms of the other side of the world, which we're going to go check out, where we can show off a bit of the terrain and stuff along those lines, which I think are things that really are missed out in Minecraft a lot of the time. And it's really cool that we get to do a bit of everything. And I mean, not to mention the dragons. Can't forget the dragons. They are really cool. By the way, this is the building. We actually got a better view from down there of this building. But for here, let's just go through the park. This is my favorite little park. Got a perfect oak tree. We got these little trees, whatever they are. And it just managed to clump together so well. You can see how many pieces just very, very squashed in here. All, I think, looking pretty darn cool. The lights in the tree, the swing from the tree, little details in there, which I really do love. And it's created a very cool little area in the city of nature and all that as well. I definitely would like to do a lot more parks. Here we've got some of our main houses of some of the more wealthier, the more elite people in this world, with the one house over here, which never got finished. Interior-wise, it will be done. Just interiors and me, we don't get along too well. We've got like a love-hate relationship. I love to see them. I absolutely hate to do them. That's the case. And of course, these ones, a lot of our stuff is actually completed inside, interior-wise. Like for instance, this. I'm willing to say most. I'm willing to say most stuff has got completed interiors, without a doubt. Beds are useful for us to sleep in. Fancy that, but I like to make sure everything that I use in the world, beds, chests, crafting benches and stuff, as much as possible, are related to the world and not just placed separately. Now, let's stop off at the docks, the customs office, and the Rock of Poop, which is literally a rock where there's a bunch of seagulls that have pooped on the rock. And yes, we have seagulls. You can get my texture pack and get your hands on that if you really want them. In fact, by the way, I guess I should say, and we'll just have a look at the customs office while we go through here. We do have a download for our texture pack, because that's normally the case. People are going to ask, do we have a download for the texture pack? That's down in the description. Hey, are you using shaders? Most certainly I am, and I am using Silder's enhanced default shaders. They are beautiful. They look amazing, and just in general, they really make this vanilla feel in the world while not going too crazy on the shadow, and I love that. So let's just go through there. Oh, the dock operator. This is cool. Obviously, all the manuals to operate this heavy machinery, but this over here is my little crane to take stuff off the ship. You can see some stuff being taken off this ship, which, by the way, this is a really cool build. The ships are. I'm looking forward now with going into 1.13 in our brand new world, which I don't think I've even mentioned this episode if you guys aren't clued up. Yes, we are starting a brand new world, so do not fear. There will be something very, very soon on this channel. And also, by the way, if for some reason 1.13 is not released on this day, that kind of sucks, but that's all right. I think we've managed to get it close enough. But just doing these ships and stuff, I'm really looking forward to getting a lot more of them in 1.13, building them on the ocean. Now, in fact, one issue that I had with these ships, what's in here? I couldn't even remember. Some diamond blocks. Ooh, that's pretty useful. But yeah, when we built this, we could not put any slabs or stairs underneath the ship because they started to look really weird. So we had to be smart about that and try and get the shape as good as possible without them. But with 1.13 around the corner, we're going to very easily be able to alter those and get them to actually all work for us. So that is going to be real cool. We can get some very nicely shaped ship shape. There we go. Let's just do that. Get it all ship shape. And I think that's going to be really exciting just to be able to do that stuff. Do we have a bed in here? We do. Awesome. And I've got to replace the door. I get the feeling I've replaced this door over here once before, but that's all right. Can we sleep? Of course we can. We'll just wait the night away. Not a big deal. Perfect. So you can see most of the stuff... Ooh, I even have music distance in here. Most of the stuff is actually completely... In fact, I can do this, can't I? Something I never, ever do. Alright, we'll do that. That was an ender pearl. Maybe it would be useful to just go ahead and put that in there. Yeah, that's much better. But yeah, I never actually used that. I must admit, that's I just like to think that the captains like to listen to music. It gave me a reason to look for music discs. The whole reason was I don't really listen to that stuff. I find them kind of cool to go and explore the game. In fact, I wish we had more stuff like that in the game where it was a bit more difficult to get your hands on. But it's cool when you get it, and of course you can do a farm for it, but I feel like the best way to do it is just over time. Find yourself in a situation where you've got oh, is that? No, I feel like I've got a piece of my roof missing there. But yeah, you find yourself in a situation where you got a skeleton and a creeper next to each other, and you got yourself a real good time. That's what I hope for, at least, and that's what I try and do with this. So there we go. This is the dock offices. The other one was the customs office. This is actually for the docks themselves, which are these undercover docks where boats come in, transport goods to the city, and take them away. Now, another thing, if you guys are new to the series, of course, welcome. And the whole thing with this world, at least, is we wanted a story going through here. We didn't want to just build builds aimlessly. We say, hey, we're building a tower. What's the tower for? Just wanted a tower. Hey, we're building a church. Why? Just because. If we haven't actually built any like cathedrals or churches, which would be a pretty cool undertaking. But if we did, we would have a certain amount of meaning behind them. We'd say, this is for, like, for instance, a magical horse in the sky. Let's just use that as an example. I mean, why would there be a magical horse in the sky? But you get what I'm saying. And what we do is we manage to get that story and build with the story. And that makes life so much easier for building, and also manage to keep the whole story going in through the world, which means it keeps us entertained, keeps builds with having a bit more meaning. And I think that is one of the coolest things about this world, to be honest, is just how we managed to keep that going through the whole way without me losing focus. And really, this was very much to the help of people suggesting things, creating things about the lore, all different stories. People just making jokes about, for instance, the giant horse in the sky. If you guys don't realize, there's a cloud that looks just like a horse. So join the streams, ask us about our horse, and we will tell you about it. But yeah, that sort of stuff. It's really been awesome to be able to sit along with it and just keep it going. It's been really cool. Now, we've done a little bit of a loop. We're back at our palace. Let's just go around here and look at the last build we did before we actually came to our palace, which is the little inn over here. Well, tavern, more like it, a bar. Very simple. Nothing too crazy. Now, here's a weird project. This is actually going to be a clock or watchmaker's place. We haven't quite finished that one. But over here, you can see I've still got a few little odds and ends to finish up on. But this over here was one project that I tried to make a block of houses, which I actually did in my previous world. A block of houses together. So no individual houses, which I normally do individual houses. But you can see this is... I just put walls and I try to separate them up and create a block of my own. It's got its own feel. It definitely does have its own very unique connections between them, but it also is quite oh, oops, my bad. Quite a difficult thing to get right, but I think it looks cool nonetheless. So more unfinished area, because listen, before we go, remind me. Well, you can't remind me, but I've got to go check out this very large area just to show you guys what the plans are and how far this area is going to be. It's going to be huge. The city is going to be enormous. So, as I say, this world will be used on Twitch. And what will be happening is we'll be using this for streams. We've got so many big projects. There's a skeleton over there. I mean, a creeper over there. Worse than a skelly. It's looking at my musical instrument on the stage. Okay, well, that's cool. But yeah, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing so many big projects on here. That's exactly why I thought this world is ideal. The way that I made this world, because I actually made a few mistakes. We'll just walk past some of my diagonal buildings. If you guys wonder why they look a little bit more interesting, a lot of these are diagonal and, or not diagonal, but just at a slight angle, which makes them look so much more interesting, in my opinion. But yeah, I think some of the mistakes I made in this world in terms of a series on YouTube at least, was I started building really big, which is actually very difficult to be able to show off properly in a video. So there's one reason why I thought, you know, it's a great idea for us to move over to a new series. Oh, that's the wrong way. There we go. Perfect. See that? Sittable chairs in Minecraft. Great times. But yeah, I think that there's a lot of mistakes I made in terms of size of the world and stuff like that, which I really wish I didn't make. But I think that's the whole point about it is, you know, you learn, you want to do a world, you want to do it as crazy and as cool as you can, which is exactly I think the boat that we're all in. We want to see this world be as crazy and as cool as it can be. But a lot of the time you just have to step back and look at what you're doing and how you're doing. Is it the best way to do it? Is it the most efficient way to do it? I don't think so. But either way, I think it'll be cool to have a YouTube world and a stream world nonetheless. I think that they will work out perfectly. And you know what? If the stream world doesn't work, who knows? We can just go onto just YouTube. It's not well, like just the YouTube world for both. It depends on how we go, but I'm pretty confident that we'll be very, very good on both of those. Now, by the way, that was the army barracks or the military barracks. I don't think we've separated the forces, but those are the military barracks over there. We've got these little wagons around the place, another office building, the Coopers, which is a place that makes barrels, which we actually are waiting for 1.13 for, actually. Because we've got a whole bunch of trapdoors coming that will help us make a cool production line, it also means we can make some barrels with those spruce trapdoors, which I really... I've put so much emphasis on those spruce trapdoors, but man, oh man, do I want spruce trapdoors. They are going to make our life so good. So here's more just unfinished stuff. In fact, I was doing this just after our last stream. I was just messing around this area, trying to work in how I'll get these buildings and how I can make this work. And I thought the best overall solution was to do this here, where we've got the ground taken out so that we could make this pathway through versus putting these all on one level, which I think is a rather cool idea. Now, as I say, a lot of this is unfinished. We'll just go back here and we'll fly off. I think that's pretty much everything in the city, or at least the large majority of stuff in the city. We've got some stuff outside the city which we can go check out, but a lot of the main stuff in the city. Oh, we got it! We got it! Fantastic! All right, and we kind of stuck up here. Okay, that's a pity. We can just fly over there. Nailed that one. All right, so here we go. This is where I can show you exactly what this place looks like from the top. And man, oh man, isn't it? It's huge. It's monstrous. And this is just the beginning. We've probably got about, I would say, just less than a quarter of the way through the city. We've got so many little things we want to add to it. That palace, the distance from where we are standing to that palace, in my mind, is 1/3 of the distance that I want this city to be. So I want this to be 1/3, the palace to take up 1/3 with the gardens in the back, and then have another third of the city all the way out that way. So it's going to be enormous, and that's going to go in either direction as well. So it's going to be a giant circle. It's going to be huge. So that's why we do have so much work to do on Twitch. And of course, if you guys want to join us for that, you are more than welcome to come around and enjoy a stream with us. So let's head down here. This is the fort just off of the city. We've got just some cannonballs, some coal. I don't know why. Maybe what was going through my mind was that there was just a big pile of cannonballs. Just some places to look out. It's actually got some very cool views. This was the first building we built in here, and I think it worked really well just to set the scene. Oh, we've got our important docks. They're not really too important, but they're important for important people. Carrying on. Oh, yep. Let's enter pearl into that. Carrying on into here, we've got ourselves the armory of the fort. We've also... this could have some good stuff in it. Not really, but I forgot about that chest there. We've got the barracks of it. We've got, for instance, here's a little bit of story, which this one was one I left completely open, and it was really cool just to see what people would come up with when you leave this open to interpretation. We've got a little torture rack there. Ignore that. We've got this jail cell, and we've got this one here, but it's been broken into. So this was one of those things where I just left it up to people in the community to come up with their own stories. And this was one of the cool stories that came around of the prisoner escaping. And the amount of different things that I heard about were crazy. The prisoner getting out and what they are doing and where they are, who they are, and stuff like that. I really loved that. That was one of the cool things about, as I say, lore in this world. It's really awesome. Here's our failed attempt at a tower. I must admit, it was an interesting thought. Didn't really plan out quite as well as I'd hoped, but that's all right. We learn from that. And in fact, the sun's about to go down, which might mean a good idea would be to go through while the sun's going down. Actually, we'll avoid the ugly rooms in this place. Wait for my pearl. Wonderful. And we'll go through my end portal, or nether portal, sorry. Just around here. And by the way, we're not going to really explore the nether and the end too much. I haven't done too much there that's too exciting. A lot of my farms aren't really too exciting, to be completely fair. But here we go. This is the place that burnt down just a few days ago. I have done my best just before... Oh, let's let that nether lag go away. There we go. But I've done my best to recreate it, at least in my own mind, at least what I like. I think there's a few changes to it. But yeah, that was a pity. We lost this area. But this is one of my favorite areas right now. Well, recently, at least. This world, I never really did much with the nether until recently. And... it was a pity because these tunnels are so different. They so in some way original to try and bring the overworld into the Nether. If you're walking through here, you feel like you're in a forest in the overworld, and that's what I really hope for. Besides the gas noises, just ignore those gas noises. But it just feels like we're actually in the overworld, walking through and slowly getting to our other portals. Now, this is also a work in progress. We've got our portal, which we're going to go through soon. But right around here, we've got our Snowy Village portal, which I think we're actually going to come out in the dark, so we might have some troubles because it's going to be dark. But this over here is our Snowy Village with the name of Frusendal. It's a pretty cool place. Okay, there we go. And excuse the pun. No pun intended, but it is. It's a pretty cool place. Sun is going down. Man, I feel like I should have created a copy of this world and gone into peaceful mode so we could enjoy this place at night. But you know what? I'll leave that for you guys to do, because of course there is a world download as well, and also shaders. If you guys want the shaders, there's a link over there in the description, as per the usual, for you guys to download these. But yeah, I think this would be really cool just to explore at night in peaceful mode, have a look at all these fires and all the different things around here, the lighting that I've used, which is a pity about Minecraft, is I can't build too much with lighting without having it getting blown up every 5 minutes by creepers. But I think this looks pretty cool. This fire illuminating from the fireplace into the bar. Really cool vibes. I love it. The dark dinginess of it. It looks really cool. We've got some barrels on the outside, some watchtowers. Overall, this is one of my favorite villages to have ever built. And the weird thing about this was so many people, and myself included, said, you know what, building in the snow, it can't look good. It doesn't look good building in the snow. It's tough, it's difficult. Every time I've tried it, it has looked horrible. And in some weird way, this is many people's favorite part of this world. The burnt down house. This is a cool one. In a stream, I said, okay, guys, we finished this house, almost. I perched myself up on probably a block over here. We were watching it. And I was like, I'll just quickly go grab something to drink. I left my computer, came back, and it was burning down. Because guess who put it too close to some fire and let the house set on fire? So we just decided to roll with it, keep it that way, and let it just burn and create a story in the world, which is what it did. And I love that. I love that we had some unintentional story in the world, of course, and can enjoy it that way. Now, here we go. This is where we start looking at custom terrain. So if you guys wonder about terrain around this place, this is all custom. The mountains in the back over there, those are custom over there. Custom. Custom terrain, custom trees. Just overall, I love doing my own thing in this. And this is something that I've come to love over the years, is just doing my builds and pulling my builds together with terrain. And the terrain has actually almost become the feature of this world, weirdly enough. And it's not necessarily the builds that is, it's the actual terrain. That's honestly my favorite part of this world. It just creates such an immersion as you walk through here. Like, look at this, the trees all over the place. We've got the wagon over there, which is a slight structure, but not too much. A lot of the detail is actually in the area around the structures, and the structures are really just there when we need them, which is a very different part of what the other part of the city, which we've just shown you, which is the city, what that is. Now, here we go. We've got the little campfire. We've got the bed. I really should have done a less colorful bed there, but that's all right. But yeah, just in general, a lot of the world has just been the terrain and stuff like that, which has made the big difference for me. And it's also been the most enjoyable. And what we do on streams very often is we literally just go ahead and place blocks to build a mountain or build some ground. And it sounds kind of weird, I understand, but it really is thoroughly enjoyable. Now, here we've got a little rock with hidden mysteries. I will not give out these mysteries. You can go explore them. In fact, if you've seen the episode, it ends with a bang. Oh, actually, let's go around here. This is a project which I thought was a neat project. It didn't necessarily go down as well on YouTube as I expected, because it was a bit more redstone inclined, and I actually forget about the redstone in this. And it was just a bit more, I guess, boats. What are you doing? Okay, we need 4. There we go. But yeah, by the way, we've also sunk boats in here to make it look like a shipwreck. And I know some people have asked, what is this? This is a mast of a ship that's kind of pushed in here, like a shipwreck in this area. It's a cove. It's got a lot of stuff stuck there. So let's go through this little hole and get into the room of treasures. I don't even know what we call it. It's not called the room of treasures. I don't know how much you guys can see, but it's pretty dark. You can see some torches around the place which don't illuminate the place too much. But it's rather cool, this place, and I love it. I've tried to make like an underground civilization of the past. There we go. We've managed to work out the puzzle. This is actually a puzzle, by the way. So you have to get all of these torches illuminated, but it looks like that one over there Maybe the lava for some reason is not there. I'll have to fix that, but that should be illuminated. What's that in front of me? What's that red? Ah, it's lava. Okay, that was kind of freaky. But yeah, the whole goal of this is to unlock this puzzle, move on to another room of puzzles, and then you come into some of our terraformed caves, going down here, and the next puzzle is actually probably the most difficult parkour that I've ever seen, which is this around here, and I haven't been able to do it myself, but word has it that some other people have managed to do it. I do not know how they have done it. They're crazy, but a little bit of parkour to push 3 buttons to be able to push your way through to the other side here. So along there's actually 3 buttons that press out a little bit more ground so you can jump over to that side. And this, of course, has taken its time. We haven't gone around here in a very long time, but there's a lot of cool stuff. And in fact, actually, just to satisfy those people, and I know it's not too impressive, but it's cool for me at least. A lot of people always ask if I do any redstone related stuff, and I do enjoy it. I appreciate redstone very, very much, but actually, let's just double check. No creepers. This guy's been here for ages, but his time has come to an end. I use those for the sound. Okay, I was like, why would I use gold blocks there? But it's for the sound. So this is my little redstone contraption I got just to be able to keep everything opening doors, keep doors opening and closing, and do that little mechanism where you can create a puzzle you solve the puzzle to get in. So let's go back to these. Go up there. Drop in here. Okay, we're good. And replace that block like nothing ever happened. Fantastic. So as we get out of here, I think our best bet is really just to walk backwards and go out this end, because we haven't completed the whole tunnel to the very end of that. And of course, you guys can go explore that and do your own thing in it. I'm sure there's many cool ideas. And that's one of the cool things about putting my world up for download is how many people play on it and use it as their own and then start doing their own things and seeing what else they can come up with besides what we just came up with. So let's go up here. This is where it would come to an end. It would come to an end at the very top here, where you can go ahead, make an offering of a diamond into this. It'll reject it if it's not a diamond. We've even got a little bit of a mechanism in there. And that'll create a beacon beam coming through here to mark that you have completed it. Kind of a cool idea. I wish to do a few more of those in the world, but we haven't quite got to them just yet. And the last place you come through is actually this little frozen willow right around here. Forgotten place. Forgotten room. But a cool room nonetheless. And also, no pun intended, but it's a cool room. I like it. It looks awesome. It's a different sort of build. And those builds over there are the ones I really do love and cherish. The ones that are colorful, different, and not just plain structures. So this area looks pretty. And I just want to go one... Yeah, you know what? We'll go check the dragons out later. Hopefully we don't forget about them. Well, the dragon. But here is my favorite build of all time. The HMS Wers. It's beautiful. My favorite ship, my favorite build. This was just one of those builds where you do it, you love it while you're doing it, it's enjoyable, it's all just coming together, and it looks good in the end as well. And I think we should go and explore this one first, because this is by far my favorite build, my favorite ship, and I think we've done a great job on it. And that's, of course, my completely unbiased opinion, but this is by far the most enjoyable one I've ever done. So this ship is about, I think, 100 blocks from the end to one end to the other end, and it is all even better than the other one, actually. This one is all to scale. We've got rooms, we've got places for people to stay, so you can actually have the ship at the right size where you can have stuff happening, you can get some little beds in it. You can, for instance, go downstairs to the galley. Let's go down there. Now, the galley, for people who don't know, is the kitchen of the ship. And you know what's kind of weird, and I really should not be saying this, but I've never been creepered in this ship, which is kind of surprising, because I feel like there's quite a few spots that can spawn creepers. So we've got literally everything you would need in a ship, in this ship, which is really, really cool. So livestock being transported goods, just a whole bunch of things. We've even got over here. Let's go check it out. We've got the steering column here. We've got a rudder at the back of the ship. We've got some... place over here, which the captain sits. We need to fix that. That should be a parrot. Of course, the textures don't quite match up over here. But just in general, very cool stuff, and part of my favorite sort of stuff. We've got the lighthouse, which is completely active, which is kind of cool. I thought that was an original little idea that we came up with, was getting a lighthouse that actually functioned as a lighthouse. Rather cool. So going around this way, we've got the first village, which I think still holds up pretty good. It doesn't quite match the same building style that we've got in the other parts of the world, but I think it does a good enough job. I like it because it's not too complicated, and you can hear some redstone stuff working on there. This is, in fact, my house of operations. We've got my bedroom up here. We've got a snow golem there as well. This is where I get messy. I've got my storage down here and stuff like that. So this was one of the more base-like areas that I would have in this world, yet I don't think I really do bases. It's one of the things I've become in Minecraft, with Minecraft, is I'm not a base builder. I'm more of a city builder and a world builder, and my base moves along with me. And in fact, actually, why did I get that piece of granite? We'll just drop that there. In fact, a lot of the time, the shulker boxes have been the best thing for me. It just means that I end up going around and holding all my stuff with me at all times. So let's go across here, and we start the path. In fact, we won't go across here. All right, quick scenery change. I don't want to go miss my dragons, so we're going to quickly go hit my dragons right around now. So I decided it would be a cool idea to try and build some organic builds in this world, which was some dragons. Put a bit more of the story in it. Get some cool stuff in here, something that I haven't built before. And that is when I decided I was going to build the 2 dragons in this big, massive battle, which is still in progress, as is everything in this world, in progress. So this one is completed. This one actually will probably be taking a shot from this stick dragon right around here. Now, by the way, the stick dragon, it's just my planning. I think a lot of people have thought that literally was me finishing a dragon. Definitely not. It's like, hey, yeah, you did all this stuff, but what's up with this? Yeah, just hold up. We'll get there. But one of my favorite sort of builds, at least, is this dragon. I really do enjoy it. Of course, custom mountain, but I really did enjoy the way it turned out, the way I did it, the build itself. It was quite an interesting thing for someone who hasn't done any stuff along these lines, like any, I guess, organic builds. So it was rather interesting, but I just thought it was something quite notable to show you guys. Now, here we go. I said I've got a few cool facts. The first episode of this world is nuts, guys. It is crazy. Now, if you guys haven't seen the very first episode of this world, you probably, I suppose, you probably want to join the crazy number. For me, at least, this is an absolutely insane number that I never ever thought I would ever see on my YouTube channel, and I thought it was absolutely amazing. Is our very first episode of this world. I thoroughly hope that did not hit nearby where it could burn some stuff there. But we have just recently hit over 900,000 views on that video, the very first video, and it's on, I think, 940,000 views the last I checked, which was just a few days before this episode has come out. So that is absolutely nuts. We are almost on 1 million views on episode 1, which is absolutely insane. And not to mention our very first series, which is over 500,000 as well on the first episode, which is absolutely nuts. I would love to actually be able to tally up just how many views we've got between all 150 videos. Obviously, it tapers off towards the end. Actually, I'm going through here as if I'm just the one doing my general work here. Let's hold up and slow down. But yeah, I'm going through as if I'm doing that. But yeah, it would be really interesting. I love little facts, little numbers like that. So here we are. Take it in. Step back. Look around. We're good. Let's go through a project which might just be a little bit different to what you expect. And this is one of my little pet projects, I guess, is working over here on this path, which this whole path is meant to be so, I guess the word would be, what would the word be? I suppose gripping? There's a better word for it. Immersive, that's the word. I used it earlier, I think. Immersive, that you're going through and the path is actually taking you through where you should be going. Not even necessarily because it's a path, but because of what you're looking at. So we've got lines, we've got areas blocking your views to try and get you to walk through this path by looking at different objects of interest, hiding objects of interest. Coming down here, you can see this here. You can look out this way. There's a lot of things like this. And in fact, we've just recently been redoing this area on the side here. And this is where you guys are going to see the real deal terrain changes that we've done in this world, which has been one of the absolutely most amazing things which we have done in the world, which is terrain changes. And by the way, here's one of the most controversial things we did in this world, the Wizard Tower. Many love it, many hate it. I think it actually is probably one of the most closest things to a 50-50 split. It's crazy. So here we are, the invention of the large droopy spruce tree all around the place. These trees are massive, and in fact, just to satisfy some people who have a little bit of a compulsion to asking, hey, have you filled the inside of the tree in? This whole tree, all of the big trees are filled in inside and out. So you can be assured these things are top quality trees. You're not getting any of the cheap stuff from me, man. Getting high grade, high quality droopy spruce trees, specifically in the large variety. We've got a little bit of a farm, nothing really too much to write home on. Just a few things along the lines which do attract your attention. We've got obviously just a little place over there, a little watchtower along the river, and then we've got one of our first big builds in this world, which was Nick's Inn, which was actually a stream build. This is what I planned on doing only on stream, which we did end up only doing on stream, I think. Maybe the interior or something off, but I'm not even sure about that. Nick's Inn. So here we go. Named after actually a very, very good friend in our streams. So there we go, Nick. If you're here, what's up, man? But there we go. We'll check out this place. This is a place for travelers from both sides, being the first city and the area which we're in right now, to come together, be peaceful, have a good time. Travelers from all across the land, because there is actually a slight war going on in this place. A very disruptive war, which we have not even been able to show much of the tale between the two places just yet. But that's exactly why we have to keep going with this world. We can't leave it now. We've got so many good times to have in this world ahead of us. It's super exciting, and a little bit of a stream meme as well. So a few little pieces in here. There's a lot of just different, very small sorts of Easter eggs in this world, which I sometimes surprise myself with. I've got a lot of hidden areas which now coming into mind. I've got like 2 or 3 back there which I've forgotten to show you guys. There's just so much to explore, which we just, I think, sometimes have to put it on the back burner. We're just not going to be able to explore everything. But over here is one of the funnier things, which you shouldn't actually look cool, but it sure does, is the massive wheat fields. And yes, this is customized terrain, customized wheat field. We've gone and smoothed it out, made a few little bumps in it. Got the windmill, we've got the water down here, custom as well. All of it is I think, one of the better builds in this place, and it really does tie in the area. We've got the tree line in the background there, and then don't get yourself too worked up with that. We've got ourselves a giant mountain. the mountains of the Rookie Mountain Range. And this is pretty cool because where we were in that snow village not too long ago is actually just behind this mountain. And I'll show you guys where it is and how close we are. The shadows from the shaders aren't really working too well for us. I just wanted to get as many frames in here as possible. So that's why we don't have... we've got the shadows on a bit of a lower grade. So let's just go over here and I'll show you exactly where we are. So let's go all the way up to the top of this mountain. Right around here. And you can see we actually, in the most recent stream, we were just busy with this here. But that is the snow village out there. And you can see where these mountains are all going to collect and become the Rookie Mountain Range, which is super, super exciting. But I don't want to get too far distracted from this path. So let's go over here and we'll walk down and grab ourselves a good night's rest before coming back to these, because there's some cool stuff to show around here. So let's walk through the wheat fields, which I think it's pretty cool, walking down this path, getting off onto the fields. And the idea of this field, by the way, if you have a look at the way this path goes, you'd be walking down here. You would probably not notice that the path goes down this way, and you keep walking along to the city. So the idea of the wheat fields is more just to be a sight along the path. So as I say, this path had a few tricky little things with it. And the one was just to have this sight along the path without you actually going down it. If you did go down it, sure, you can go explore it. But that's not in other words, that's not my idea of how I'd imagine someone walking through the world. I like to think of it as a first, like an MMORPG, I guess, or not really, but like an open world, let's say an open world adventure game where you can go around and find your own stuff. I don't know why I said MMORPG, that's kind of weird, but yeah, you know what I mean. But where you can go around and explore, and there's a lot of stuff that you can go and check out, but it's not the main stuff. But you could, if you want to go on a side quest, you could do it yourself, which is kind of the same thing in this world. Here's another little thing. I hide all my nether portals. As I say, I like to get my stuff hidden in the world. Little underground nether portal. You wouldn't say it. Just looks like an inconspicuous little thing there. By the way, for people wondering, those are silos. Do not fear. They don't make sense, but those are silos. Just for people who are wondering. I couldn't just do a big ugly silo to store the wheat. So I decided, hey, let's get a little bit fancy with it. It was a risky move. It didn't quite pay off as well as I'd hoped, but it's alright. We got there in the end. So we'll go up here. The sun's very close to going down, but if not, we can still have a look at this beautiful, beautiful view. Yeah, you can see the stars in the sky, the windmill. Oh man, I really am gonna miss this world so much from YouTube at least. I'm not gonna miss it at least. I'm gonna be playing on it pretty regularly. But in terms of YouTube stuff, I'm definitely gonna be missing what we're doing in the world and all that as well. Sun's got to be surely close enough to being down. Surely, come on. Restart. That's right. But yeah, basically some other cool numbers with this world. We have more than doubled our YouTube subscribers by like a long shot since starting this world. Now there's another little interesting fact. Cool fact. Very awesome fact. But we've managed to double them. Now going up to the windmill, it does have a bunch of stuff going on inside of it. I guess we can go check it out. There's a proper path, but we'll just walk through the wheat fields. It's a bit more fun. So we'll go through here, go through around here, there, and up into here, which is going to be really cool. So we've got the proper way that the wheat would be broken down. So we've got a way to get up to the top through some big windows at the very top. I don't think you can actually see them. You can't actually see them, but the wheat would get transported to the top, put in the top of the hopper, and get broken down, and eventually get collected down here as flour, which I understand we got hay bales at the bottom. I tried to make flour, but it wasn't really working. So we had to try some improvisation. And right there, our very last build before we restart this, before we finish this world, our last build on YouTube sits right over there. A simple little house. I try to bring it back because we couldn't really have too many extravagant builds around this area. So we had to do something kind of simple, and I think that was simple, elegant, quaint, I think is a better word. Quaint around there. So here there are some other things. I mean, there's trees growing in this area. Now, why could there be a tree growing in here? And that is because in this area here, where these trees are in the middle of the field, there are rocks which could not be removed, and there is a water spring, an underground spring. Please no creepers, please no creepers, please no creepers. Skelly. Yep. You are, gone. Smite 5 is amazing. Let me just put that out there. So here we go. We've got a little underground cavern, which I know it's kind of dark. We probably can't see too much. But you know what? It's pretty cool. It's got little roots growing down from the trees. It was a fun build, nonetheless. I really did enjoy that. Okay, that seemed... Oh, you know what it was? It was the water that kind of held us back a little bit. And how lucky was that? I didn't even land on my crops. That was very lucky. So now we can go check out the mountains. And by the way, I did want to do this, as I say, across two... it would be really 2 episodes, but I'm going to do it over 1. Because I thought, you know, why the hell not? Let's just go crazy. Let's just put them all together and have one massive end of world celebration time. Besides, I can't really do 150 plus 1 plus 2. You know what I mean? So now we come to the end of where I've been doing some work over here. The end of where I've decorated up to. Let's just go over here and look at the riverbank, which is actually going to be a flowing river from top to bottom. So we've artificially leveled up the water. So the water is actually higher than it should be, so that it can flow all the way down along this river to the very end where it meets the ocean. And that's one of the cool things about this is we thought about that from the beginning, and it hasn't been able to bite us in the butt just yet, because we can do that, which is super, super cool. Of course, getting the riverbanks done properly. And this over here actually marks where we're going to be starting our brand new city in the future. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be super cool. And here, the mine shaft, one of our more recent projects. Also, a work in progress, as I say, everything is, with the unfinished bridge, which is something I'm working on in streams, and just the lift and stuff like this. One of the really cool, really cool things. Man, I love world tours. I love just being able to go and walk through like a world and enjoy the world for what it was built for, and not necessarily just enjoy it for the building itself. Because that's really what we did today. We went through the world and we've enjoyed everything we've managed to enjoy in the world. We've managed to walk through the builds which we had hoped to experience on our own. And I think that's what we managed to do with these sorts of tours. But what I think today, guys, I think there is not much more to say besides just hopefully you guys have enjoyed the series and you're ready for the brand new one, which is just around the corner. I mean, hey, it might have started by the time you're watching this. So if you guys are new to the channel, of course, welcome. Great to have you here. And I'm glad to see you guys have made it through, enjoyed this this world tour, which I think I don't know how to show it off as cool as I can. I think the best way is really just to get in the world, download it, go walk through and enjoy it for yourself. If you got some shaders, maybe put a few shaders on, grab yourself a cup of tea, go walk through here. I think you're gonna have a real good time. But that will be all from me for today, guys. I thank you so much for the crazy, absolutely insane support. Those numbers, man, they're insane. But just the crazy support and the crazy amount of positivity around the series and the channel has been insane, and the Twitch channel has been nuts over the past few years. So thank you so much for joining me, guys, and I will see you very, very soon.